Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Now, I already did a video about it. Tony Harrison of Detroit is fighting Jared Swift-Hurd for a title at the 154-pound division. That title was left behind by Jermall Charlo, Lions only, coming off of an impressive win in December. And the reason is Charlo, like he said, and he's been thinking about it for a while, he's actually moving up to the middleweight division, which is interesting because there's a lot of big, heavy hitters. You have David Lemieux versus Curtis Stevens coming up in March. They both can crack, right? I'm not even talking about who has the most skill or who can outskill speed. I'm talking about guys with cracks. Danny Jacobs, cracks. Shout out to my dude Miracle Man. Golovkin, cracks. You know what I'm saying? So he's going up there. A lot of people keep saying, man, I try to keep you guys in line, at least with my honest perspective. A lot of people are so radical in boxing. People are saying that he's leaving the 154-pound division to avoid Demetrius Andrade. And trust me, I met Boo Boo. I was Instagram live a couple weeks back with Troy, and Boo Boo stopped by the Instagram live. I fuck with Boo Boo. I really like Demetrius Andrade, but he has his own fight against Jack Kuke in Germany in March, right? So that's already signed, sealed, and delivered. It's a done deal, right? Jack Kuke posted pictures of Demetrius Andrade all over his gym wall. So that's already set in stone. So how is Jermall, who has been saying that he is moving up for probably at least 2 fights now, how is he avoiding Demetrius Andrade? Like, realistically, that doesn't even make sense. People, they misinterpret what they want to see. Do I want to see Jermall Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade? Absolutely. I think it's a phenomenal fight, and it's a crazy fight. They're both 6-footers, both skilled. One's a southpaw. Both guys have power. Both guys have skill, athleticism, speed, a good mindset. So I absolutely want to see it. But to say he's ducking Andrade for that doesn't make sense. How is he ducking someone who actually has his own fight? And you keep in mind, Demetrius Andrade has been calling out Charlo for a while. He's called out Canelo. He's called out Edeslani Lara. And none of those fights have happened. So that means the world, and trust me, I do think that Andrade is avoided. Let's not get that twisted. I really do. I think a lot of people don't want that issue, right? And you can even say Charlo kind of fronted on him in the press conference because he was like, oh, who is he? And then Demetrius Andrade was like, you know everything about me. Like, don't try to front like you don't know who I am. You know people in your division. So I mean, I don't agree with that, but in this given situation, I can't say he's ducking when Andrade has his own fight, and he's told us after the Trout fight that he was going to move up to 160. So, you know what I mean? You got to be realistic there. And he did what the fans wanted him to do, which was stick around at 154 to fight this other killer named Julian J. Rock Williams, who was undefeated and who was looking like a premier threat, and he looked good in that fight. So, you know what I mean? Coming off of that win, you got to cut the dude some slack. You know what I'm saying? If he was going to duck someone, I mean, actually, Julian J. Rock Williams, for what it's worth, I'm not saying he's more skilled than Demetrius Andrade, but he's more active. He's been more active. You know what I'm saying? So if he was going to duck, he could have just ducked that challenge like people said he was going to do and just moved up after Austin Trout straight away. You know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with that ducking. You could say he doesn't want to fight him or he doesn't prefer to fight, whatever. But, I mean, to say he's ducking when the man has another fight, I don't really see that, right? Plus, there's always a backstory. There's still another Charlo who has a belt, the WBC belt, in the division Demetrius Andrade fight. So it would be a great backstory on some Jean-Claude Van Damme kickboxer shit, where if Demetrius Andrade, okay, this dude Jermall left the division, so target his brother, go after his brother. You know what I mean? Canelo left the division to fight at Canelo weight of 164.5. If Charlo gets past Hatley, his mandatory Charles Hatley, and you get past Jack Kuke, which he should, Demetrius Andrade beat Jack Kuke in the amateurs already. And I mean, I haven't seen enough to let me believe that Kuke, even with the hometown advantage, is fucking with Demetrius Andrade. So that's just my opinion. But hypothetically, if Hatley gets defeated by Charlo and Andrade gets past his opponent in Germany, Jack Kukule, then target his brother, and then that'll give him even a reason. And I think Demetrius Andrade can make 160, or maybe they could do a catch weight or whatever they have to do. So, I mean, it's not out of the question that that fight can happen later. Do I want to see it? Absolutely. Two skillful guys, two powerful guys, and everything else I said earlier. But to say he's ducking when he told you that was the case post-fight, before, like, you got to look at it. In the ring, this I know some of you guys don't be paying attention. Oh, you're just making excuses, ego. But I was at his fight live when Charles Hatley jumped in the ring after he beat Austin Trout, etc. And right then and there, he said, I'm moving up to 160. Again, got criticism because they said he was ducking Julian Williams. He sticks around long enough, even though he probably has to sack. And you can look at him and tell he's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? That he's big for the division. Like, he's tall, and you can tell by his shoulders and frame, he's a big dude. So it's not like I don't believe him in terms of looking at his frame. That is hard to probably crunch down to 154. And he said it post-fight. Like I said, I was at the fight live. I was sitting next to Keisha Cole and Virgil Hunter, to be honest. And he said he was going to move up then. But he sticks around, fights J-Rock. And then after he knocks out J-Rock, when they fought in December of 2016, he says it again post-fight. So this is before Andrade got on him at the post-fight press conference, which happens after the in-the-ring interviews and stuff. And in his in-the-ring interview, if I'm not mistaken, he said, I'm moving up to 160. So he was claiming this at least 2 times before the Andrade call out at the post-fight press conference when they gave Andrade the mic. Facts. Anyway, fightnews.com, shout out to them. I've linked to their article. They have quotes from Jermall Charlo about his move up. I want to read that and then just close up this video. Charlo says, I've been thinking about moving to 160 pounds for a while now, which is what I just said. It was a struggle for me to make the weight for the last title fight. Once I captured the title, I defended it immediately because I wasn't sure how long I could hold the weight. I held it an extra year to fight Austin Trout and Julian Williams. I feel there are bigger and better things for me at 160 where I can hold my weight and be stronger. The idea of being a 2-time world champion is a big goal for me, right? If there were a big fight at 154 pounds left for me, I stick around and wait for it. But there isn't anything that there can be made quickly. And I wouldn't fight my brother or my gym mate and close friend, Edeslandi Lara, right? So again, the only option that people would probably want to, he's not fighting his stablemate. You know what I mean? Both with Ronnie Shields, and they've sparred together. And I mean, it's just what it is. Lara can say he'll fight the other Charlo or whatever, but I mean, he just fought Yuri Foreman. You know what I'm saying? So that's his opinion. He's saying I'm not trying to fight my stablemate. So I mean, Marcos Maidana said he doesn't want to fight Lucas Matisse. They're not stablemates. They're just from the same country of Argentina. So why is that a problem? Klitschko don't want to fight the other Klitschko. Why doesn't Vitaly fight his brother Vlad? You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be on Charlo's head, then keep it consistent. You should have been mad when Maidana said, I'm not fighting my fellow countryman in Lucas Matisse. Because that, to be real, they actually have fought in the amateurs. So why won't you fight him in pro? Fans would love that fight. I would love that fight. You know what I'm saying? So if that's your rule and you're going to leave these crazy comments, then leave it for everybody. But I mean, like I said, I believe him that he was struggling to make weight. Now he's going to a division where there's still killers there for a guy who's new to the division. Like maybe if you're Golovkin, he's held to a different standard because he's 34 and he's been at that weight for so long and he looks destructive at that weight. And we haven't really seen him step up, but now he's stepping up with Danny Jacobs, so no problem there. That's a good fight. It's good for the division, and it'll solidify the #1 person. But you got Canelo, who's moving up past middleweight, so I assume he's not going to fight all of his opponents at this new Canelo weight of 164.5, which means he'll probably drop to 160 for other opponents. And he's been wanting that fight when they're at 54, so that's some real-life options. Or if Chavez Jr. beats Canelo, maybe he can make a catchweight fight with Charlo. I don't know. But Danny Jacobs, Triple G, Stevens Lemieux, there's some good fights up there for him. You got Hassan Indam, which I heard is a fight that they're looking at for maybe May or whatnot. And that's a solid test, new division. I talked to Peter Quillen. I was in Virgil Hunter's gym. Shout out to that. And it's a team decision, so he doesn't know if he's moving up to super middle or if he's going to stay at middleweight. But he's trying to keep his weight in order and just kind of wait for his moment. So that might be an option depending on what he decides to do with his career. But people always say this ducking and scared and stuff, but why would you duck to go in another division with a bunch of killers too? And it sounds like he's trying to pursue some of those options because he says big fights. And we all know Canelo, especially if he beats Chavez Jr., that's a big fight. Triple G, if he beats Jacobs, that's a big fight. If Jacobs upsets Triple G, that's a big fight for Charlo. So, I mean, I think there was really only one person that I had to see Charlo fight at this point. He already beat K9 Bundrids, knocked him out. He beat Austin Trout, who was a veteran, who has a win over Miguel Cotto, been in the ring with Lara, been in the ring with Canelo, and he fought him, right? So the only real test of Vanes Monterosa, I don't know what's up with his career. He ain't feeling Al Heyman, so, you know what I mean? Who knows when he'll ever fight again. And the only other person is Boo Boo. Shout out to Boo Boo. He's a great fighter, hell of a fighter. I don't try to twist my words. I would love to see Demetrius Andrade versus Boo Boo. But again, if you're having trouble making the weight, you see bigger fish to fry with big paydays, plus good competitive fights, and you just knocked out your mandatory who people said you were ducking, then I'm not really looking at that as a duck, especially, like I said, when your opponent already has an opponent for March. So he's just going to sit around and wait only for Andrade and hope Andrade, cause, like, hypothetically, what if he waits and says, you know what, I'm not going to unify, or I'm not going to move up or announce my move up, even though he's been talking about it for the last 2 fights, and he stays, and then Jack Kukule wins a split decision over Demetrius Andrade. So he's going to stay for Kukule? You know what I'm saying? Who is definitely not a big name in the States. So you don't stall out your career based on what the next man is doing. That's one thing I have learned in boxing, kind of like Amir Khan. He was supposed to fight Devin Alexander way back when, and he chose to stall out his career looking for a Floyd Mayweather fight. And then he was on the shelf for like a year, and Floyd was like, oh, I'm fighting McDonough, deal with it, I'm fighting Chino, easy work. You know what I mean? And then Khan is just left in the dust. Then Khan waits again for Mayweather, and then waits for Pacquiao. And then before you know it, he fights Algieri and then waits another year trying to get a Pacquiao fight. And then he gets knocked out by Canelo coming off the shelf for a year. You know what I mean? It's not good. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't stall my career. But I like the move up for Charlo. I think he's skilled. I think his power maybe is stronger because, like I said, he has the frame to support 160. And he says, I've been training for a couple weeks. It's like a mini camp. I've been shaking out. We're looking at May to be completely ready. I'm a big athlete already. I'm just looking forward to taking my superstar status and competing with the big boys up there. So I have no problem with this move up. Of course, I want to see the Andrade fight, but at the end of the day, Andrade should be doing what he's doing, and that's working on being more active, being more vocal, and getting back into the spotlight. Skill for skill, he's up there with the best of them. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted, but I can't say Charlo not staying for one person who already has a fight, I can't say that's a duck, right? You look at different situations, and I mean, I'll get with some of y'all maybe in the comment section on a case-by-case basis, but like Guillermo Rigondeaux, you could say he's been ducked because people literally all of a sudden can't make weight, and they never even really said, like Carl Frampton never said, I can't make weight until Rigondeaux became his mandatory after he beat Scott Quigg. Scott Quigg, same thing. All of a sudden, you're fighting Kiko Martinez, you fight Frampton, all of a sudden, you're moving up. Leo Santa Cruz randomly just moved up when Rigondeaux was down your throat. That's a little bit different because these people are being like attacked by Rigondeaux on Twitter and stuff like that, and we never heard a peep about they have to move up, and then all of a sudden, they move up. You know what I mean? And it's not like they fought no dangerous Julian J. Rock Williams, who was a threat in the former division. You know what I mean? Frampton fought Quigg, which was cool, but I mean, Rigondeaux's a different animal, so it's different. And like I said, I don't fault Charlo for not fighting his stable mate, Edeslandi Lara, and he's definitely not going to fight his brother. We don't expect the Klitschkos to fight each other. So I'm satisfied with the move. And I also like the fact that this is the other thing with the whole waiting game that some of you guys aren't realistic about. Let's say he waits till March, Demetrius Andrade fights Jack Kukule, wins impressively, knocks him out or whatever in Germany, and you waited all this time, then you have to negotiate with Andrade, who, for whatever reason, did pull out with his brother in the fight. You know what I mean? They were scheduled to, this is a fact. It was on the Amir Khan. This is how you know who knows their boxing. This is off the top of the dome. I don't need BoxRec or Google, but on the Amir Khan versus Devin Alexander card on Showtime, it was supposed to be Jermall Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade. They didn't like the money that was being offered, which, okay, cool. I'm not in I don't care about the business, but the bottom line is the Andrade team, they didn't want the fight after Golden Boy had already, because they were promoting it at the time, they were already promoting the fight. So, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me for Charlo to wait to all that and then hope you can negotiate with Andrade. And then, especially, like I said, Andrade is this is just the nature of the beast. Andrade is very skilled, but they're also big names at 160. If Triple G beats Jacobs, he's the man. If Jacobs beats Triple G, he's the man. Canelo beats Chavez, he's the man. Chavez beats Canelo, he's the man. So on top of giving your body a rest and moving up to something that's easier to make for your 6'1" Lions only frame or whatever, you're also can take tough fight. These aren't, and that's the thing. If you're a newbie to 160, none of these fights that I'm saying are easy fights. I don't think Andrade's an easy fight either, but people were saying he's ducking, but he's also fighting competitive fights if he does work up to some of those fights. So it is what it is. That's my thoughts, the full breakdown, the real deal. Shout out to Jermall Charlo. And like I said, the other thing that I do like is that he's moving up without stalling the process. So now Tony Harrison versus Jarrett Swift-Hurd, which is already a good fight. Now it's a title fight. Just give up the belt. You don't know what you're going to do and stuff. Let that belt free. And the biggest reason some people, oh, you're making excuses, you're giving him a pass. If that's what you want to say, fine, whatever. But the reason being, because he took care of his mandatory. He made sure that he stayed to take care of the guy that was the boogeyman that was supposed to knock him out and beat him, which is Julian J. Rock Williams. So you got to get off his back. You know what I mean? You look at Canelo's last two opponents and tell me they were J. Rock level threats to his style. Amir Khan and Liam Smith or whoever. You could do that with plenty of people. Triple G. I'm not talking about Jacobs. That's a great fight. But Triple G fighting against Dominique Wades or a welterweight Kell Brook, moving up 2 divisions. Is that a J-Rock level threat? No, because although Kell Brook is talented and skilled, he wasn't in the division. In fact, he was two divisions below. Versus J-Rock was a big, strong, tough Philly, skillful guy. I think he might even be a southpaw, and he was already in the division, and people thought he would win, period. Let me know what you guys think. That is my real deal breakdown. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.